Hey everybody, I'm back and I'm super thrilled that Deborah, earlier today, you were on a live with me doing an author panel for the Biz Book Pub Hub. And at the end, I was like, hey, is anyone around today in a couple hours want to get on a live with me to talk about the Kindle Flash Sale? And you're like, okay, let's do that. So Deborah, hello and welcome. Give us a quick sense of what your book's about, and then we'll start talking about the campaign.
Yeah, so the population that I'm trying to reach out to are scientists, engineers, and health professionals who want to have an impact on society with their scientific and technical knowledge. And my book, which is called From Expertise to Impact, my goal is to teach them how to do that. Because today it's just so important. We have so many societal challenges in the world, and the best way, in my mind, to respond to those challenges is through analysis that's based on what it is that we know and also understanding what we don't know.
So
So my book is all about that. Yes.
You have so much expertise, and folks who missed the full explanation should definitely check out the live from earlier today, which will be on the podcast in about a month as well on bizbookpubhub.com. But let's talk about the Kindle Flash Sale. This is your first time signing up for it. And right before we went live, you were like, oh, can I talk about how much I spent? Because I want to talk about the ROI. I'm like, I'll just get out of the way, Deborah. Like whatever you want to talk about. I want to know like how you mentally went through the like, should I do this? Yeah, I should do this. And like, what was that question in your head and how did you answer it?
Well, part of, like what I teach is I teach economic efficiency, which basically means what will get the best bang for the societal buck. Okay. So I do that with my business as well. So that's part of the analyst that's within me. So, I spent, I don't know how many thousands of dollars putting together my book. I knew I would be lucky to break even, and that's okay, because I'm not really focusing on book sales. I'm focusing on the work that I will get as a consultant, as a coach, as somebody who does workshops and webinars. That's really where I make my money. I'm not really expecting to make money with my book. The goal instead is to increase my visibility. Mm-hmm. So in this case, I released my book about a year ago in April. I was super busy at the time. I didn't have time to do all the promotional stuff that I could. And as it turns out, this year is really hectic because of a certain president of the United States in science and technology policy. So now is really even almost a better time for me to launch my book. And so I'm thinking about how to do that. When I heard about the podcast and I saw that, I heard about the Kindle sale and thought it was $75. I thought, okay, well, if I just get like one more client for one of my webinars. I do like these 1-hour webinars. It's often on topics I speak about a lot, so it's not a lot of prep time for me. I get paid about $500. And so when I think about it that way, I think, okay, what will be my return? I mean, all I need is I just need one person who gets access to my book that would not have thought about it otherwise. They're going and they're looking for speakers for their webinars or for workshops, which I get paid even more for, particularly when they're in person. All I need is one person, and then I'll get the $75 back. So to me, it was, really easy for me to make the decision on the Kindle book sale. And then also, I can't remember the name of the group I'm in, but the group that I'm in, which you can talk about, sure. It was sort of the same thing. I thought it was a very easy decision for me. And I had actually looked at something else that was going to be several $1,000s, with somebody else. And I thought, I'm not going to be able to get the return on investment. I decided not to do that. And I decided to do both of your activities instead, because I had a lot of confidence in getting that return on my investment.
It's such a rare opportunity to get a chance to have a conversation with someone who just started signing up for your programs. Like, thank you for this conversation and to be sharing it live even, because we know each other not very long. And yet you're doing three really, because you're also my launch team. You're doing all the things I'm involved with right now that are keeping me up late at night as I'm working. So one, let's just say Kindle Flash Sale, the deadline for authors to join is June 25th. And they can go to bizkindlepromo.com or just put a comment below so we'll know that you want to get more information about it. And it's for any author who wrote a book to help them grow their business, speaking, coaching, consulting, all the stuff that Deborah is talking about, right? Because it's about giving us an excuse 3 times a year to actually talk about our book, and not just with the other authors and their audiences, but even with our own. And so we can circle back to like ideas around how we can leverage the book in that way. But then, yes, you also sign up for my my content and connection club. And that is my membership group. We have a 2-hour mastermind every Friday evening, Eastern time. And then we have co-working on Monday afternoons. And we sometimes have a business book club, and we have a lot of content we share. It's just really wonderful supporting community of thriving and striving 6-figure entrepreneurs. And I often do a lot of like pick your brain kind of calls with people, and I think I need to be more consciously inviting them to this space, because it was in a conversation like that I was like, well, I mean, we could do 6 months of coaching for lots of money, or you could just like pop in here for a little bit and see what you feel, and then maybe we'll work together in the future or not, but at least you'll have support you need.
Yeah, and I mean, I've now been, I don't know, maybe to 3 or maybe 4 of the calls on Friday nights, which for me is a time that I can typically make it. Most of the time, nobody wants to do something 5 p.m. Eastern on a Friday, but I think I've been able to get lots of ideas as to what it is that I can do further with my book, which is good, because one challenge as a solo entrepreneur is that I really don't have anybody to bounce ideas off of, or to hear other people's experiences. And so as a result, I have, even though I was kind of resistant at the beginning, I have now participated in a couple of these like kind of co-working, mastermind kinds of things. And I do find it really, really useful, for these things. And also as I tell people, I'm an engineer. I'm not a marketer, right? I even have an MBA, so I've learned marketing, but that doesn't mean I know how to really all the ins and outs of marketing a book, or like working on LinkedIn, or doing all these other things. And the reality is I could learn it because, I have a PhD. I've learned a million things.
You're a smart
But
person. Yeah.
it's just I don't have the time,
Right.
right? And it's also not how I want to use my time. I want to use my time on my own mission, not using it to do, like learning how to do marketing, or how to do a podcast, or all these other things that are out there.
So one of the things I try to do for all the authors who sign up for the Kindle Flash Sale is I treat it like I'm running a launch. And so I give you really clear timelines. As we get closer, I'm going to give you images that have your book in it, your book cover. I'm going to give you some swipe copy, so some pre-drafted text that you can use for social posts or emails. I'm going to tell you when to send those, should you choose to do that. I'm going to give you some goals around doing that. I'm going to send you some nudge reminders to make sure things are happening. And I have a partner link. So everybody who's in the Kindle Flash Sale is sharing the resource to their network, but I can tell how many clicks come from each of those links. So I can give more support to people who are not doing it and be like, hey, and then there's always a few outstanding like outliers who just get thousands of hits. And you're like, hi, what are you doing? Can we, is this something anyone else can do? Like, what's your secret sauce? Why are you at 3,000 when everyone else is at 40? Like, what happened here? So, and then we're also trying to do more like cross collaborations, like doing LinkedIn lives, Facebook lives, whatever it might be, to support this before, during, and after. We do lower the Kindle prices early. This is sort of people don't know this because we don't widely talk about it, but we ask the authors all drop their price 2 weeks early, but we're not promoting the books yet. It's still part of the setup process, but that's where you could use that time. I'm sure you've got a list of people.
Oh yeah, so I'm really kind of also lucky in that this coincides with something else that I've been doing on LinkedIn. So I, several months ago, actually, before I even heard of the flash sale, I decided to record like a video, like with a synopsis of each chapter of my book, which is like 12 chapters plus an introduction. And I was trying to figure out how to promote that. And I was talking to Sophie Leschner, who I work with on LinkedIn stuff, and she suggested a newsletter. So I've created a newsletter, but it's really not really a newsletter. It's really more like a mini workshop, is how we're calling it, over 3 weeks. And I have been like so amazed. I am now up to 800 subscribers for this newsletter. Now, keep in mind that I do 2 other newsletters. I have one which has job opportunities in science and technology, and I have like, I don't know, 3,000 on that. And I've been doing it for, I don't know, maybe just about a year, maybe just under a year. And then I have an opinion newsletter, which, has about 1,000 or so people. But again, it took me a year to build that, but I've been able to get up to 800 people all on my book,
Wow.
in less than a month, basically.
Hmm.
Um, so the way I have timed it, and again, we're going to see how this works as an experiment. I think not just for me, but for other people, is that I have one more week like left to go through, because I'm doing one chapter per day. So I have one more week next week to finish that off. And then what I'm planning to do is say, hey, you can get my book, for 99 cents, as of, I think it's like June 30th, right?
Hmm.
Which is going to work really well with the timing of my book. I'm still giving away a free PDF, a fillable PDF, but I'm betting that people are going to say, hey, for 99 cents, hey, why not get a copy of the book? And then hopefully I can then encourage them so that I can go from, like, I have about, I think, 8 or 9 reviews now. Now, luckily they're all 5-star reviews, but I have like 8 or so reviews. And I really want to get to 20, or I've even been told that the best option is like 50.
It
So
is.
if
Yeah.
I could just get up to 50,
I
I
have
would
an idea for
feel I
you,
have met
actually.
my goal.
All
Yes.
right. I have an idea for you.
Okay.
Um, I would actually start with the ask about getting a review on Amazon and ask people to fill out a really quick Google form that they opt in. Like, yes, during the first 2 weeks of July, I will get your book for 99 cents. So I can leave a verified review. And then, so out of these 800, let's say 80 people say, yes, I will do that thing.
Mhm.
And then you can now nurture those people by giving them a reminder about the book being 99 cents. You can give them some prompts for like writing an easy, quick review. You can adapt the ones that I've been sending out for my own launch, and then kind of nurture them through the process. And the deadline, you're like, hey, could you get this done by the 13th? Because my book is going to be part of this campaign on the 14th, which gives them kind of a reason to do it now as opposed to put it off to someday, which will never happen. I think that just being upfront, not about buying the book, but buying the book is really part of the review commitment.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, 800 plus people who've gotten so much value from you in a short amount of time. Can you find 40-ish people to say yes and follow through? I think yes. Now the problem is not everyone who signs up is going to do it. So you will actually need more people
Yeah. Yeah.
than
Right.
but I would say not more than I mean, usually I would say 3 times as many because
Mhm.
they're not as I feel like you've just given them so much. So maybe like you maybe need about 80 to get 40 more kind of thing, but
Mhm.
more will trickle in and they'll probably feel really good that you asked them, honestly. The ones who feel
Yeah,
like
I'm
they go
hoping
about it.
that, because, I've been trying to be very, supportive and giving a lot of my
Yeah,
time as a volunteer to help people
it's a
find
great
jobs and
idea.
also kind of understand what's going on, that it's a small ask for them to do it. And the thing is that they don't have to read my book. I'm just going to tell them, hey, I know nobody has time to read the book from beginning to end, but if you could just like watch the overview video,
Well, they probably
if you
already
get a benefit
did.
from that, then hopefully it'll work.
Well,
Yeah.
and some of them probably watched, like, some of the content as you were dripping it out, like, they've
Oh, yeah.
gotten some of the value. I think that a lot of us authors overlook some of these, like, I wanna call it, like, low-hanging fruit opportunities to ask for, that favor of a review from people who aren't gonna be, like, put upon, like, "What do you mean, me?" But, like, "No, oh, I could help you? Yeah, I wanna help you." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of ask that feels right for the relationship, and it would actually strengthen the relationship, and
Mhm.
that's a really cool thing and often overlooked, I think, when we're doing all this work. I mean, I'm also like you, I give away a ton of content, ton of content. So much so that I don't feel ever like any angst about asking for some support back because,
Well, I think it's also that you told me earlier today that you're involved in fundraising, right? And so,
background too.
I've had to do that in the past, like ask for funding for, what I thought was a very important study on some science technology policy topic. And if you really believe in your mission, right, and the goal of what it is that you're trying to do, then the ask isn't like as hard. because it is, and so I'm hoping that if I do a really carefully crafted message that
Yep.
focuses on that overall mission, not just, hey, you're helping me as an author,
Right.
that will work. So that's one of my goals, for next week, the beginning of next week, for the announcements that start for week 3 of this of my reach to these 800 people.
I'll also
Figured
mention
I had to
that
do it.
if it makes more sense, you could drop your price earlier. Like sounds like your timing's pretty close, but like if it makes sense for it to be
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, because I was
it's
thinking
up to
about that because
you.
I'm not really sure of the
The cadence, like
exact.
you want whenever you make the ask, let's have the timing all line up. That when you make the ask, just don't be like, and I'll let you know. Like no, just be like right now. But ask. I think the deadline would be more. Hey, could you take this action by
And
this
do it,
date?
but yeah, exactly. Take the action
Like
before the
any of you can get
flash
the book for
sale.
99 cents, but I would love to know which of you are willing to commit to writing a review. Let me know that now so I can give you some review prompts and help you make that happen really easily. Like you just sort of say, I want to make this really simple for you. That's why I want to know who among you is considering doing it, because then those people will get an extra special touch.
Yeah, because I did something similar when the book came out, and I think you were talking about numbers, and it was pretty much, if I remember right, I did get about 80 people who agreed to give a review in exchange for a PDF of the book. But in the end, you say I only had 8, right? So I got 10% of the
If
people.
you ask,
Yeah,
this is a really interesting case study for me, but I've often said that if you just generally ask, like, hey, will you do this? And people say yes, but you don't do all the follow up, and it's
yeah,
quite a bit, about 10%, about 1 in 10. I asked, this is really, I asked my AI to give me some dad jokes related to being an author and launching. And I've shared one earlier today. Basically, launching is like throwing a birthday party where you invite 200 people and send each one of them a reminder to reply to your invitation twice, like or more. Like it's like you invite them and then you have to remind them to reply and then you remind them again to reply. It's like you're throwing this birthday.
yeah.
So yeah.
Right, and I totally agree. I think, I had it set up as kind of like an email sequence kind of thing,
Yeah. Too passive.
but I think, yeah, exactly. I think it was a little bit too passive. And so, one of the things that I think you suggested to me earlier is just identify like 20 people who
Well,
I
you
can
could go
really
with that
target,
80.
for
I use a
individual
mail merge
emails.
system called Yam, yet another mail merge, YAMM.com, to
Uh-huh.
send personalized messages at scale. And so I think when it's sent through an email list, like a MailChimp style thing,
Yeah.
then that's when people are like, oh, I don't know how many thousands of people are being asked. But when it's just from you to them, whether done one by one manually or done through a mail merge system,
Yeah.
it's just like if you were getting a ride from the airport late at night and you asked 5 friends CC, 5 friends BCC, or sent 5 separate emails. Like you're going to get the best response when there's 5 separate emails because they think you're just asking them.
Mhm.
It's just human nature. So,
Yeah.
Deborah, thank you so much for hanging out with me and talking about why you signed up for all the things that I'm doing. You're
Yeah, and hopefully
definitely
some
figuring out
other
how to
folks will
apply it.
sign up as well. So I encourage you to do so.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, everybody. And comment below if you have any questions or want us to get back in touch with you. Thanks so
Thanks.
much. Bye,
Bye-bye.
all.